Okay, in this video, we're going to demonstrate to you the difference between a hosted system and an on-site PBX system. So we got the hosted here, on-site PBX here. We're going to show you the differences and what your savings and some of the pros and the cons. So on the hosted side, you got your internet connection. Your phones just get basically connected to your network. You plug them in 99% of the time. That's all you need to do. There's a special requirements on some networks where they block certain ports, but for 99% of the systems, basically you just plug this into the back of the phone and it gets connected to the provider and your phones work, right? You got all the same features. By the way, both have the same features, right? There's no difference between these and these as far as all the features like the voicemails, the auto attendance, the recording, all that good stuff. There's no differences. The biggest difference is on equipment and on pricing. And this is where we give you an example of 10 phones here. Get a little demonstration here on the 10 phones, just to give you an idea. 10 phones with a hosted system, most providers charge $25 per phone, right? So every month, your phone bill is $250, which is more like $280, $290 after taxes, right? So just want to give you the quick heads up. I'm just using some round numbers to make it easy. So your first year of service with just 10 phones, you're looking at $3,000. On a 3-year, you're looking at $9,000. Over the 5-year life of the system, you've spent $15,000 on just phone systems, right? On just your phone provider, right? Not including the phones, not including anything else, right? So you just want to make sure that this is just for your monthly service. So now with the SIP trunk, right? This works best when you have 10 or more phones. We recommend you go in this direction because of the savings that you're going to have. We do have some clients that have less than 10 phones and they choose to go this way, right? You could have 2 phones, 3 phones, it doesn't really matter, right? We do recommend this direction instead of having 2 or 3 phones in this direction because it might be a little bit more expensive to get started, right? Because you're going to need a few things. One, like this side, you need internet, right? Now from your internet, it gets connected to your office router / firewall, modem. People call them different things. Now from here, there's some configuration that needs to be done in there. We need to do some port forwarding to allow certain ports to go into your PBX. If this is not configured properly, you're not going to be able to receive calls. You're not going to be able to make calls. So it's a little bit more complicated, right? But we specialize in both, right? We do both systems. So these on this side, it's just a little bit of more time consuming to set it up originally. But once it's set up, no problems. So you do some port forwarding, allows the calls to come in, to come out. From your router, you have a switch, right? And from that switch, you can connect all the phones that you want, right? You can have 10 phones, 20 phones, 30 phones, 100 phones, and you can still have 10 lines. So that's when some clients get a little bit confused, right? So we're going to give you an example. On this side, if you wanted to have 20 phones, right, you just multiply that times 2. Everything here is going to be multiplied times 2. If you want to have 20 phones on this side, the price can still stay the same, right? You can still have 30 phones, 50 phones, 100 phones, because what you're paying for on this side, you're only paying for 10 lines. So I'm going to explain that to you a little bit more, right? So with 10 lines, any 10 phones in the entire system can make or receive calls at the exact same time. Right? That's very important. 10 of them. It's called concurrent calls, right? Let's say that you have 11 people that want to call out at the same time and you only have 10 lines. The 11th person would get a busy signal. Even though you may still have 100 phones, right? If you have more than 10 people that want to call to the outside, then you may want to increase that. And that's the great thing about this particular system. With one call within 2-3 minutes, we can increase this number by anything, right? You want to have 20 concurrent calls, 100 concurrent calls, 500 concurrent calls, not a problem. It's going to be a lot more expensive than what we're showing you here. But as you grow, this system can grow easily with you, right? You can start with 10 phones. You can even start with 5 phones, right? 10 phones, going to 20 phones, going to 30 phones. And 9 times out of 10, you don't need to increase the amount of lines, right? So that's what the two key features between each system. And I'm just going to give you quick numbers here, right? On the first year with this particular system, you're spending $1,320. Within the 3-year system, you're a little bit under 4,000, and on 5 years, you're a little bit over 6,000 per year. If you compare both systems over 5 years, you're saving $8,400 as opposed to going to this system with only 10 phones. Let's say you have 10 phones here, 10 phones here, right? You're saving $8,000. Can you imagine if you have 20 phones here and then 30 phones here? Right? So you can see the biggest difference in there. And I want to remind you, there's no difference as far as call quality. People will want to scare you by going into traditional landlines, buying those old phone systems that our that our clients give us those systems for free because they upgrade to something like this. So other people, they want to give you those old PBX systems that require landlines that they're super expensive. So any questions, any comments, I'll respond to anything. I'll put some more information on the comment section. So just leave us a comment if you need anything.